For you today. It's going to be great.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I haven't done a voicemail segment in a long time on my show.
We didn't do one last week because there wasn't any. The only one that was new was the one that was specifically aimed at you. So I was saving it.
Ugh.
I had to blame you on Discord for us being late.
Sorry.
This week's episode of Here's What I Don't Get is brought to you in part by failed comedians in California. Failed comedians in California generating endless content since 2016. Send your many thanks to a failed comedian in California today. Hello and welcome back to Here's What I Don't Get, from north to south, east to west, the only intercontinental podcast to tackle all of life's toughest issues and the longest consecutively running podcast on the See You Next Tuesday podcast network. I am your host, Tab Burton. With me today, a very famous person live from Philadelphia. It's Tony from Hack the Movies.
Hello, Tab. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Everything is great. Nothing horrible is going on in my life. I love every minute of every day.
You know, I say that too, but I mean it unironically. Like it's unironically been a pretty good week. And I've got the show coming up this weekend that I'm helping a person who's early in their career of being a lighting designer figure their stuff out. And that's been really satisfying. And then today I had my second glass blowing training. And that was a great deal of fun. I finished up the big project that I had set out to do when I first did it. We got it done in 2 sessions. Plus I got a bonus item done that I'm going to give to a friend. But we're working today, and my instructor, I come in and I've got my drawings. Like this is what I want to make. These are these techniques I want to try and use. And so we're like halfway through working on this stuff. And he's like, I have to remind myself, this is only your second time doing this. Most people are not like doing this when doing level of this kind of work on their first time through the studio. So that felt really good to be like, all those YouTube videos that I watch and the books that I've read and like going and watching stuff live has paid off in me like picking up on what I'm supposed to be doing more quickly than other people. So yeah, it's a ton of fun. When I get these pieces, I'll post a photo in the Discord.
Well, let me tell you, not the thing we were talking about off air. I'm not going to talk about that on the show. Let me tell you about something else that was fun that happened to me this week, Tab. I've been banned from Facebook dating. I want to see if you're going to ask the same question everyone asks.
What was it? Because you like were ugly in your photos?
Actually, you know what? You're probably the closest one. So I guess I don't know if you use dating apps. One, they don't work. They're fun for people watching though. There's a lot of spam accounts on those apps, right?
Yeah.
So Facebook came up with a thing that was like, hey, we're cracking down on spam bots. You have to verify that it's actually you and your photos. So we're gonna take like a video of your face, and you have to do like a prompt where you move your face, and they match it with your photos, right? And I'm like, good. My current photo on the app is my current haircut. Let me do this. So I do it, and they're like, okay, we're processing it. And then like an hour later, they're like, we determined that you are not the person in the photos. You are breaking our terms of service. You are banned from Facebook dating. And I just sat there and I had like an existential crisis. And I'm like, am I not who I am? I'm like, what? I'm like, this is the biggest social media thing in the world. You think their AI would be better? I'm like,
oh man.
Like,
so
if I'm gonna get banned from Facebook dating, I want it for something funnier, not your AI's broken.
So what do most people guess then?
What do you mean, though?
Well, you said like everybody asked, is it the same reason?
They all immediately go to, well, what did you do?
Oh no,
I'm like, I didn't do shit.
I assumed my actual natural response was some woman got on there and was just like mad at you for ghosting her and just like report.
But yeah, no, I'm upset that I'm no longer on the single mother emporium. Oh shit! Hello? Hello?
Do you mean
Hello?
all
Fuck.
dating apps are
Hello?
the single mother and oh no, the shit's broken again.
You froze. Am I frozen?
You're frozen.
Hello. I'm back. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I never left.
Fucking
Do you have Spectrum?
No. Here's what I don't get: when your VPN thing wants to update in the middle of a fucking Zoom call. That's what I don't get.
Fuck updates.
Anyway, sorry about that.
The dating apps are all just like I love the profiles that ladies will put up there because it'll be like, yeah, I'm 35 years old, I have 7 kids, I don't want any more. I want a man who has like a job that has 6 figures, doesn't have any kids of his own, and is wants to put up with my bullshit. And you're just like, are you out of your fucking mind?
It's funny, like what is like each app has their own ecosystem. Like Facebook, it's 100% single mothers. Like Tinder, it's just girls plugging their Instagram. I noticed that. Okay, Cupid, that's just like you better be like a strong left-leaning liberal if you want to make any progress on that website.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced Bumble is like a joke that doesn't work. But anyway, I'm kicked off Facebook dating.
The other funny thing about the dating apps, as far as like that ecosystem stuff goes, is that you like buy into it and you start trying to chat with people, and women have this perception. It's all based on physical attractiveness.
Yeah.
So women believe that I don't remember what the number was. Some there was a study published from one of those things, and women think that like 97% of men are like below 5s.
Oh yeah, I remember that study.
When you see like men's average rating of women, it's like a nice even bell curve with most people towards the middle, but women are just like, yeah, you guys are all fucking Igor, hunchback, bug-eyed creeps, and there's only like less than 1% of you that are possibly dateable. And you're just like, you need to fucking wake up and come into reality. And also start to question the fact that, you know, you have all these kids that you shat out from these guys. What part of what have you introduced to the system that's maybe caused some of these problems? It's wild.
Yeah, my favorite is OkCupid gives you questions and like prompts. And like they're like the one question was like Elon Musk, and the only 2 options were real genius or like real insane or something like that. And there was no option for his publicity stunt ruined my crypto wallet forever and it will never recover. That's the option I want to click.
Yeah, they do. They really try and like put you into these narrow boxes of what, so like you can pick your interests, and you can't just like type in a thing you're interested in. It has to be like, here's our pre-selected list of possible interests. About half of them are political. Yeah. And then the other half are so generic to be completely uninteresting.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my week. I'm kicked off a dating platform for just being myself, which is the funniest goddamn thing I can think of.
So this was one where you have to like rotate your head around, because I've seen ones where you have to like hold up a hand. It's like hold up your left hand with the back.
No,
facing,
it wasn't like that. It was just the head
up.
rotating.
Yeah. So this week I am finishing off a very special bottle of whiskey. So I've been drinking whiskey on all the episodes lately. I've been talking about what I've been drinking. So I am finishing off this bottle of Jameson 12-year Distillery Reserve that was given to me in 2014.
Okay.
The cork snapped in half.
So
I had to push the cork down into the bottle and then strain it to get my glass out. But there's really only one glass left, so it's no big deal. And I'll probably hold on to the bottle for something in the future. But this is like the best Jameson ever.
Yeah, I hate when the cork goes into the goddamn bottle.
You got to keep your cork wet, otherwise it will fall apart and not hold up to the standards you need it to. You need a cork that's like big and strong, but also one that can easily slide in and out of places that may be a little tighter than what your cork is designed for.
So you got to soak your cork. Do you soak corks a lot?
Oh, I don't soak corks, but I have a lady that I know that soaks cork for me.
Oh, good. Yeah. This is a Saturday Night Live bit. I swear to God.
Yeah. Just wait. Next week we'll be talking about our sweaty balls. So it's Halloween season right now. You
Yeah.
know, we're right in the middle of fucking October. I walked into a Lowe's the other day and just let out a string of profanities like someone had just killed my cat. Because you walk into I walked into Lowe's in like September, late August, early September, and they had like their garden center was turned into Halloween land. They got like the skeletons and ghosts and lights and all that kind of shit. And it was like, okay, this is a little early for this, but
Yeah.
you know, I guess we're not gonna have any I guess we're not going to have any of these, you know, grills and stuff anymore because we're going into fall. So I hadn't been to the hardware store for a while, but I was swinging by the hardware store because I found this park here. So in St. Louis, you get free firewood and mulch and compost if you live inside the city. And I found this park that's pretty near me that they just like dump giant logs in it. And so I went by the giant log dump and I was like, you know, it'd be a lot of fun would be to chop this wood. So I went and found went to Lowe's and to buy an axe. I bought, you know, just a normal wood splitting axe. And I went back to the park and just started splitting these logs. They were too big to split in half, but I could hit them on the sides and like cut the edges off slowly. So I did that for about 2 hours. Fucking great.
Yeah.
Just like, and like people are showing up and they're like, man, I should buy an axe. Like, yeah, you should go buy an axe.
Dude, chopping wood is awesome. I love chopping wood.
Yeah. And then I went home and made this. I have a pretty small fire pit. It's like 22 inches. I made this fucking roaring 4-foot tall fire out of the top of it. It was incredible. That was my Sunday. So anyway, I walk into the Lowe's to buy this axe and I get through the door right there at the front, fucking filled to the fucking rafters with Christmas decorations.
Yep.
Light up shit. Santa Claus is like, it's just now October. What the fuck? And so I just like fucking let out this string of profanities and all these people turn to look at me and I'm like, you fucking deserve this shit. You deserve every inch of this fucking beratement.
Dude, in 2012, I worked at a garden center and the most frustrating thing ever is when I had to fluff fake Christmas trees in fucking June. I was so fucking pissed. I'm like, you guys start this goddamn early, and it's the boomers who do it. I'm like, how fucking good was Christmas when you were a kid that you want it earlier and earlier? Each year you get closer to death. Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, and we have to recreate all of these moments of boomer Christmas time with all the same fucking useless songs. It's just, and why? Why do you need that shit to be in the store in fucking October? It's not good enough that it's on sale for 2 months.
Yeah. I don't understand it at all.
And the Halloween stuff's all been like sequestered down to this you can like do a little circle and see all the Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
You should have bought all your fucking Halloween stuff in August and September, you know, months before you started thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, so fucking irritating. We have the same fucking conversation every fucking year in this show, and it just keeps getting pushed further and further and further forward.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it other than like starting to kill boomers.
In Minecraft?
In mine life. Anyway. Well, let's get into some issues. Tony, what is your first issue this week?
Okay, well, Tab, there's a new Halloween movie coming out, new Michael Myers film.
Ugh.
And I watched the last one yesterday. Did a commentary track for it. It's going to be on Patreon.
Halloween
never
kills.
Halloween.
Oh
kills.
wait, I thought that was the new one.
No, the one's Halloween ends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're ending it again. Yeah. So I think that last movie was pretty divisive, and I think we all know why the last movie didn't work that well. Too much eye injury. There's too much eye injury in these horror films. And this goes back to Halloween 2 when there was a needle in Dr. Mixter's eyes. I don't understand why horror movies feel the need to have horrifying eye injuries. And it's very upsetting. Have you ever seen the movies See No Evil and See No Evil 2?
I haven't.
Starring the pro wrestler Kane, aka Mayor Glenn Jacobs.
Also the bad guy in RoboCop 2.
I meant the wrestler Kane. I know Kane is a bad guy in RoboCop 2, who is also Francis Dollarhide in Manhunter, the original Red Dragon. But no, yeah, that is a horror movie with a killer who specifically just wants to stab people's eyeballs out.
That sounds awesome.
Then there's the famous scene in 1979 Zombie, where a girl gets a splintered piece of wood through her eye. These are all horrifying things. We could all agree, like, there's a line for horror films, and I've never been one to censor gore or side with the MPAA. But when you watch something like Opera, Dario Argento's Opera, where they staple pins to someone's eyelids so they can't close their eye or else they'll stab each other, we can all agree that goes too far, right? That goes too far, and it should be banned from all horror films, right?
I don't think it should be banned from all horror films.
No, it should. It should, especially when, say, and I'm just exaggerating here. This is totally fictional. Say you're like someone who has a horrifying fear of eye injuries, and it's like the scariest thing in the world to you. And then you've actually injured your eye, and then you find out from the doctor that your eyes have poor cells and that you need horrifying surgeries where the only way to fix your eye is to stab them even more. Stuff like this could be triggering for that person.
That sounds like an episode of House. Like, the only way to save him is with more eyeball stabs. he's addicted to eyeball stabs.
If people haven't caught on, the person I'm talking about is myself. I have a horrifying fear of eye stabbings. I've suffered eye stabbings, and the only way to fix it was more eye stabbings. And I can't, every time there's a new fucking horror movie, a slasher movie, I'm like, oh, fun. A good old fun slasher movie. And inevitably there's a fucking eye stabbing in it. And every single time, like, fuck. Halloween Kills. That one guy gets it like right underneath his eye. Do you remember that shit?
I do. I remember every movie that I see with an eyeball stab now because I'm just like, Tony's not gonna like this.
What did you do? Oh fuck! Years ago, John Wick 3 came out, and you literally texted me going, "Hey, did you see John Wick 3?" And I'm like, "Oh, you never text me about movies. What the fuck?" And then of course I finally watched it. And I went, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah.
I can't fucking stand it. And like, it's one thing to leave it in the movie, but they started like putting that shit in trailers. Like, I never watched the evil Superman movie, Brightburn. Do you remember Brightburn?
I remember the name, but I never watched it.
Well, in the trailer, like glass shatters and the girl gets fucking glass in her eye, and they left that in the goddamn trailer. And I'm like, I'm never gonna see this fucking movie. I might have seen this movie, and now I will never watch your movie.
I think it's a good thing for horror movies, the eye violence, because it's like you have this like very specific and earned phobia. Yes. But I think it's like a natural visceral fear, and that's why it's so appealing to have someone die in that way.
It's just it's so frustrating because it literally is my biggest fear, and I've experienced it so many times now, and I'm like, I don't want to watch it anymore. There's that one Saw movie where the one Saw movie where the guy's on the bed and he's got to get out of the contraption, the fucking blade goes right into his eye. I'm like, I would die. I would die. I would not be able to deal with it.
Tim and I tried to do before and afters of all the Saw movies. I think we made it to Saw 3, and I was just like, I can't fucking do this. I can't fucking do this anymore. These movies suck.
Yo.
These movies are long, boring things up to ridiculous montages of someone being murdered.
You're right, but by like Saw 5 or whatever, they start to get like so ridiculous that I ended up enjoying them. Because I was like, the 3D one's fucking hilarious.
I also feel that if you're putting that stuff in trailers, like you're doing yourself a disservice as far as like as a filmmaker, you want to reserve that stuff. Like you show the girl like running, the panicking, she's in the closet and the guy like punches through the door and he's grabbing at her. Like that's all scary. You don't show Jason like pick up a girl in a sleeping bag and slam her against a tree in the trailer. That's what you're going to see the fucking movie.
You want to save that. You want to save that for the actual movie.
And they've completely lost track of that kind of thing and not spoiling movies and like the less is more, building tension in your trailers. And so it's one thing to be like, I'm gonna go see Scream 11 or whatever fucking one of those they're up to, and then someone gets stabbed in the eye, and you're like, oh, this is horrible. But then you're just like, we're gonna go see like a regular movie, and it's like this summer, Scream 11, eyeball stab. You're just like, what the fuck? I'm at a screening of the Minions movie.
It was funny. I doing the commentary for Halloween Kills earlier. I'm like, oh my god. He like stabs so many people in the eye, like the firefighters. He's poking them in the eyes with the big stick. He gouges the fucking gay guy's eye out and pops the eyes out in the extended cut. I'm like, this is too fucking much. It's too much. Michael Myers, doesn't he just stab? Like, go back to him stabbing people. I like that. I like the stabbing. I don't like the impaling in the eyes and popping eyes out. Shit.
Well, the other thing about that I didn't like about Halloween Kills was that they showed too many of the deaths because they had him on such a he was in such a large scope.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like even H2O, people don't like H2O, but H2O, the original Halloween 2, they're all in like this house.
That's a Halloween 3.
This,
H2O is a Halloween 3.
Oh yeah, because it's a sequel to 2.
Yeah.
But Halloween 2 is in this hospital. Halloween H2O is in that school that she lives in. And so what made those movies scary is that someone would just disappear and then later they like open up the closet and like the body lurches out. Or I think it's H2O at one point they like turn a light switch on and the dude is like hanging and he's got the light bulb inside his body.
Yeah, you see her leg get ripped up, but you don't see like what Michael does. It's funny you mentioned that. Last week I put out a video. I reviewed the Halloween H2O TV cut. They cut, not only do they cut out like a lot of the kills, they cut out a lot of just finding the bodies. So characters in the TV cut just disappear. They just so you never like you remember the beginning, the nurse, she finds like Joseph Gordon-Levitt with like an ice skate in his head.
Mm-hmm.
And then that guy falls on her. Well, they have her reaction to that, but now she's just reacting to Michael walking through a door. You never see those kids again. So the whole movie, like when you watch the TV cut, you're like, what did Michael, is he actually killing people? What is he doing? Because it just seems like they leave and then he shows up and everyone's scared of him, but you never see any of the like the girl you mentioned with the light. They never they leave in the shot about them about to turn on the light. And then it just cuts to them seeing Michael Myers and running away. It's like, what the fuck is happening in this?
Michael Myers in that cut is like a TV executive and he's just writing you out of the series. But it's one of those things where like the next season has started and they just didn't renew your contract. So they're like, oh yeah, Reg is not coming back to the diner for season 4 of Becker, by the way. I'm just like, oh, okay. Just like fucking Star Trek.
The real problem with Halloween H2O is the mask. They couldn't settle on a mask ahead of time, so he has 4 different masks that change throughout the film.
It was a good concept. It was done better in the 2018 version of Halloween, but that like I think that I think that maybe that came from Paranormal Activity. Like those movies were about nothing, just jump scares.
Yeah.
And so they had to make the movies as visceral as possible, as opposed to building any tension.
Mm.
And I felt that the Halloween 2018 Halloween was good at building that tension up to someone dying, whereas the Halloween Kills was not. It was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna kill. Here's some characters and they're dead. Here's some characters and they're dead. Here's some characters and they're dead.
I'm interested to see how they close out the trilogy because they did just want to do 2 movies and they ended up having to do 3. So Halloween Kills just feels like that movie's just them like making fun of like slasher sequels and how ridiculous they get. I think maybe the 3rd one they'll like try to be back to basics, but who knows? Maybe they'll go even crazier.
They should have just had the one movie. Halloween
obviously
ended perfectly.
By the way, I do, because they made a point to say like, we filmed this, we had an idea for another one, but we made sure this one was self-contained just in case there wasn't another one. So even if the trilogy ends up sucking, I still really like that first one and it works on its own.
I think retroactively these sequels have ruined that one and the original for me. But
yeah, but that's what I don't get. Why is there so much fucking eye stabbings in horror movies? Come up with something else. I'm tired of blocking my eyes every time a horror movie has that.
I just want to like strap you down like a Clockwork Orange and make you watch all the eye stabbings in film until you're like desensitized to it.
I'll never be desensitized. You don't understand. I'll never be desensitized. You haven't had the eye issues I've had where it just feels like you're constantly being stabbed.
No, but
it only make things worse.
You think stabbing's bad? I got one way better for you. So a coworker of mine, you know how you have those pump handles and sometimes they make them shoot out instead of down?
Yeah.
So she's pump handling one of those things of hand sanitizer, but it's on top of a desk that's the top of a flight. It's like the top of the house, and she's down a couple of steps, and it squirts out instead of down. And when it squirts out into her eyes.
Ah!
And it melted her contacts, and
No!
they fused with her eyes. She rushes to the bathroom, tears the contacts out. That tore the lining of the cornea off.
Ah!
Whole big to do.
Oh, that was the thing. Like, so I initially stabbed my eye with my fingernail, and like that, it didn't heal. But that's what I found out. The doctor's like, "Oh, you just have a pre-existing thing." Because then the other eye, I never stabbed it. It just was dry one day, and the cells just can't heal. So the doctor's like, "All right, well, we're gonna come in with needles, scrape it up so it heals a different way." And I'm like, "This is hell. I'm in hell. Get me the fuck out of here." Also, the new Hellraiser. There's literally a Cenobite, one of the demons, and one of his thing is that he just has needles in his eyes, like 24/7.
Have you seen the thing where like you can get a needle through the center of your eyeball? That like theory, and then you look around. That new Hellraiser where they made they're like, yeah, Hellraiser's a transgender person. It's like, yeah, it's really not that's not the ringing endorsement of
yeah, I don't know if that's a good
look.
look for the trans community, but that is how they are described in the book, even though that doesn't really follow the book. The way
aren't they just genderless monsters?
It's more like you just can't tell what their gender is because their flesh is all like messed up and
they're
their
androgynous.
Yeah, and they did the new Hellraiser, like her pins do have like little jewels on the end, so that is kind of like in the book. But no, I thought the new Hellraiser was like, okay. I got a full review coming out Monday.
I gotta tell you, I tried to watch. So we a couple of years ago we started doing for movie nights during September, October, and November. We just had horror movie franchises, and we'd spin the wheel, and we'd land on a franchise, and then we'd spin the wheel again, and we'd land on a number, and we'd watch that number of the franchise. Halloween, Leprechaun. We put Hellraiser in. I don't think we made it through 40 minutes of those movies. They're fucking boring as fuck.
The first two are awesome. Wait, you didn't? Oh, wait, you didn't make it to Hellraiser. Hellraiser 3 is the Hollywood big budget one. And, good old Harvey Weinstein, he put a lot of money into it. That one is ridiculous. You might actually enjoy that one.
There was one where there was a detective, and it just like kept going and going, and nothing was happening.
Oh, yeah, the later ones, the later direct-to-video ones are weak. But the first few theatrical ones are fine.
Yeah. We did have fun. Like, we enjoyed the couple of Nightmare on Elm Streets we watched. Like, it's funny. Like, there are franchises that are really, really good. Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. And then there are those franchises just like, yeah, there was one good one and the rest are dog shit.
Yeah, Halloween, even though I own all the sequels in 4K now. Even I will be like, yeah, well, only the first one was only like the really good one. They really tried to milk it afterwards.
What do you think of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch?
I talked about this earlier. It was wrongfully hated just because Michael Myers wasn't in it. And it was definitely underrated. And now it's way overrated. It's like, no, guys, it's like an okay, fun movie. But it's still a movie about pebbles from Stonehenge turning people into bugs. Like, it's still ridiculous and stupid. But I think because people were so mad that people shit on it just for Michael Myers, they're now overcompensating. And they're like, not only is it not bad, it's the best Halloween movie. It's like, all right, fucking let's walk it back a little bit.
Absolutely. I'd rather watch Rob Zombie Halloween 2 than fucking Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. That movie is a piece of shit.
And people were like, if it was Season of the Witch, people wouldn't have minded. I'm like, no, they probably would have been like, where's the witch? Like, what witch are they talking about?
I just want to listen to that song. That's the only good thing about that movie. No, not that fucking song, jackass. The fucking song.
The Season of the Witch.
Yeah,
I do like that they worked the Halloween 3 masks into the new continuity. That was kind of fun.
God damn it! Now that fucking jingle's gonna be stuck in my head. Tim makes it his fucking ringtone during the month of October. It's fucking irritating.
Dude, me and my friend, we would always get the Howard the Duck song in our head. Like,
I've never seen that movie.
We watched the movie together like a long time ago, or early Hack the Movies, and we reviewed it. And for like a year, we would just get it stuck in our head, and we would fuck with each other. We would like text. We wouldn't talk to each other for a while, and then one of us would just text the other. They call him Howard the Duck, and then like either me or him, we'd be like, "Fuck," because we just couldn't get it out of our head afterwards.
Well, did you ever see The Godfather where that guy got shot in the eye?
Yes, I did see I reviewed The Godfather, and yes, I if there is a movie with an eye injury just assume I've seen it. You don't have to send me images or GIFs or links to it, which people have done many, many times. In my mailbag on Patreon, you can probably see it in some episodes. Someone made me a pen holder. They custom made a pen holder. They wood burned it. They painted it, and it's a fucking bloody eyeball that you can put pens in. And I'm like, I love that I tell the internet, I'm like, this is a horrifying fear. It's this awful thing. And everyone's like, you know what Tony would like? A fucking pen holder. That's an eye being stabbed. I'm like, that's, I hate all of you. I hate every single one of you.
That's a good one. Well,
Yeah.
that brings us to the middle of our episode, which means it's time for...
This episode is brought to you in part by the Ricky the News Network. Definitely not fake news.
Well, correspondent Dad Cucks has sent us some news in. This one's from Massachusetts. A man charged with the alleged murder of his mother committed suicide in his jail cell this weekend by choking on wet toilet paper.
Huh.
Adam Howell, 34, was facing murder charges from the death of his mother, Susan Howe, 69. Very nice. On Friday evening, police arrived at Susan Howe's home to perform a wellness check and respond to reports of a fire. First responders discovered a body set on fire in front of the Cape Cod home. Adam, who lived with his mother, was on the scene but quickly barricaded himself inside the residence when authorities arrived. As the emergency personnel realized that it was a body that was burning, the male subject ran at the house, officials reported. Officers forcibly extracted Adam from the residence, placed him under arrest, and brought him to a hospital for psychiatric evaluation. According to the sheriff's office, the medical professionals at the hospital examined him and cleared him to return to custody. He was then transported by state police to the Ash Street jail in New Bedford. While in custody, Adam was provided with a nylon rip-resistant smock, clothing designed for at-risk prisoners. He was placed on security watch, which required guards to visually check on him every 15 minutes. The sheriff's office reported that between the visual checks, Adam Howe used toilet paper to block his airways. He was found unresponsive around 3 p.m. on Sunday. So I'm guessing that this guy must have had some kind of dirt on Hillary Clinton. I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of reading between the lines in this news reporting.
I did that recently. We did a Final Destination.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I told Johanna and my editor Jess for my co-host on it. I'm like, I'm gonna put cause and effect into motion, a chain reaction that's gonna lead to your death. And it's just me going, Jess and Johanna have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. And everyone in the chat was like, oh man, they're so dead. F.
Yeah, that it's kind of suspicious how, you know, your chances of dying are far higher if you're close with the Clinton family than they are if you're like just a regular person. I got another interesting thing. Have you heard about this new HBO Max show about Scooby-Doo?
Oh God, yeah.
They should call it Scooby Don't. The series is called Velma because it's about Velma, you know, your least favorite character from Scooby-Doo until you started jerking off all the time.
I was going to say, until Linda Cardellini played her. I will not let you badmouth the Linda Cardellini Velma. Okay.
Yeah, but to be fair, Velma was not supposed to be Italian before Linda Cardellini played her. So, you know, she was like reverse pasta facing it. So anyway, this new Scooby-Doo series doesn't have Scooby-Doo in it because they're like, it's a more serious, grounded take of Scooby-Doo. We couldn't figure out how to put a talking dog in it. Yeah. Then just make a fucking show about teenagers solving mysteries. Make your fucking lead character an Indian person instead of making Velma an Indian and having her be voiced by Mindy Kaling, whoever the fuck that is.
Wait, the weird thing is, because it's HBO Max and it's trying to be like the new Harley Quinn show, but it's like the Harley Quinn show has talking sharks, talking plants, and it works perfectly. I'm like, why wouldn't you have a talking dog? Who fucking cares? It's a cartoon.
They made Shaggy black, which just like, who the biggest pothead of the group, not gonna make him a white guy. Who should he be? Well, black guy.
Did you watch the trailer for it?
No, I just
okay.
Because
I think the trailer kind of, for me, I don't think it works the way they want it to work. So it's Velma complaining about a Jetsons reboot happening. And it's her complaining that they're going to ruin Judy Jetson and blah, blah. And it's making fun of the fans that were bitching about the Velma thing.
That has worked so well every time.
And at the end, Velma's like, well, at least Judy's still white. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're making fun of the fans that don't like race swap. And it's like, wait, does that mean your Velma is now racist and doesn't want to see diversity in her cartoons? I'm like, I don't think that worked the way, I don't think that worked, because now I'm going to watch your show and be like, oh, well, that Indian lady's super racist and doesn't want other characters to be race swapped.
So it just really
kind of backfired.
Yeah, this segment is more like news from the future. So the headline in 8 months is going to be Velma, not season 2, not greenlit, couldn't find an audience because no one's going to fucking watch this. It's for adults. I don't know a single adult that wants to watch Scooby-Doo. Adults don't want to watch cartoons.
There was a Scooby-Doo show from years ago, and they put in like really like clever references to like Twin Peaks and like Godzilla movies and stuff. And I sought
it was great. Yeah.
I sought out
Mystery
those
Incorporated.
Scenes. Yeah, I sought out those scenes, but then I never actually watched an episode.
My sister really liked it, and so it would just be on, and I'd kind of be present, and it was a reasonably good show.
Yeah.
Where the dog talked, they solved mysteries. It was supposed to be a prequel to the original series, and that like they were still in whatever their town is before they like get the mystery machine and go out on the road to solve mysteries.
That one was fine, I think.
Yeah. You can. I'm so fucking irritated.
They have done stuff like there is like a Scooby Apocalypse comic, and it's like fun as like a one-off thing, but like. That shouldn't be your target demo if you're trying to make like a big franchise Scooby-Doo thing. Like you should start with kids and then kind of make it for adults too. That's how I feel.
That's the way good cartoons work. Like it's entertaining for a kid, but then you put enough little stuff in there so that your adult or your uncle or your like older brother or whoever has to be in the room while the TV is on can be like, oh, that's clever. I get that joke.
Or like, have you ever seen the Harley Quinn show? It's actually really good.
I have not.
It's actually really good, but like in that one, it's like, okay, they're doing the Harley Quinn show, but like the characters for the most part look how you remember them. So it's funny to see these characters that are usually in more kid-friendly stuff juxtaposed with all this extreme violence and cursing. But the Velma show, it's like, well, they don't really look like the characters I know, and you're changing all their personality, so I don't really care that they're in this violent, gritty world because they just seem like new people to me. So
it should just be a new series.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
it could just be a cartoon about teenagers, like a dark, gritty cartoon for adults where teenagers solve crimes. But they're like, oh, that's not going to sell. But if we bastardize the Scooby-Doo franchise, something that, like, for whatever reason, all kids love. At some point in your life, you love Scooby-Doo for some reason.
Everyone goes through a Scooby-Doo phase. If you've been exposed to Scooby-Doo,
Yeah.
I know there's probably one person that's like, nah, I was a Jabberjaw guy. It's like, all right, fucking buddy. All right, we get it. We get it. He was the best. Jabberjaw was the best. Scooby-Doo sucked.
Scooby-Doo's for queers.
Yeah, the Velma show. I'm not gonna watch it, but I did think the trailer was funny. It's like, well, you made a racist Velma. I'm like, I'd watch that. That sounds really funny.
I didn't catch. I maybe I'll check the
watch the trailer because it's definitely they're making fun of kids.
I should watch the trailer because I should probably throw a dislike on the counter for it because I want to see that ratio. I'm sure it's through the.
I'm sure it's gonna get canceled. That new CEO is canceling everything, so I'm pretty sure that was something that was like left over.
Yeah, that he just hasn't gotten to yet. I mean,
he just hasn't gotten to yet.
Joel sent me a news story about how Cartoon Network Studios is closing. And it's like, yeah, nothing really lost there. Their shows have gotten so bland.
You know what? I saw something earlier that apparently that was like misreported, and people working at Cartoon Network are now being like, "Can you stop telling people we don't have jobs?" So you might want to.
All their moms are calling. They're like, I just heard the news about your studio closing down. Like, Mom, I'm a real artist.
I'm not saying it's not true. It's just like, let's wait like a day or two and recheck that article to see if there's been like, we would like to print a retraction. Apparently they're fine.
Oh, news places don't print retractions.
Oh, that's true. They don't do it anymore. You know what's funny? I live near Lancaster, PA, and Lancaster, PA has the Cartoon Network Hotel. I don't know why it's in Amish country in the middle of nowhere, but there's a Cartoon Network hotel. My sister's wedding, she had the hotel across from it. And I remember driving, I'm like, it's one of the new stupid Cartoon Networks, the weird yellow hot dog looking thing. And I'm like, what the fuck is that building? Like, why is there a Cartoon Network hotel in the middle of bumblefuck Pennsylvania. It makes no sense.
Why is there a Cartoon Network hotel? Oxman Livestream says, I love Scrappy Doo. I'm banning you and I'm reporting you to YouTube.
It was funny.
Scrappy Doo to death.
I do love in the first live action movie where they made Scrappy Doo the bad guy because just no one likes him. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Anyway, well, I got a couple more news stories. Here's one.
Okay.
For you gamers.
Ooh.
Video games can trigger heart attacks in children with undiagnosed cardiac issues, the study has found.
Oh, no.
Some children are born with an irregular heartbeat known as cardiac arrhythmia and may never know unless detected by a scan. About 2 million people in the UK live with such a condition. They can lead relatively normal lives. However, a flare-up can occur at any point and lead to severe consequences such as loss of consciousness, cardiac arrest, and potentially death. These undiagnosed heart issues have previously been linked to sudden deaths of people playing sports, but now it's also been seen for computer games.
Oh, no!
All this 86% rise in child heart attacks, totally because of video games and not because of any other factor caused in the world in the last fucking 2 years.
I agree. I know you're not being sarcastic, and I totally agree. It's just the video games, and we're going to say it's video games because Tony has a career on YouTube. So,
and that's the other thing. It's just like, for my entire life, it feels like every other year, it's like, here's some massive. Grand Theft Auto is going to make you shoot up your school.
Yeah,
it's now the video games are going to cause a heart attack. They're causing you to be like socially retarded, and just like, can you fucking people give it a rest?
Video games causing people to have poor social skills. I've that's well documented. I've seen that.
Oh, we've all seen Hack the Movies fans.
Oh, fuck you.
No, so the thing, I'm so tired of this demonization of things.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not just games. It used to be movies.
It's movies. It's
comic books,
drugs. Yeah. And what it is people who have a problem with the thing trying to find anything they can use to take that down. Yeah. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So now, like, kids are having heart attacks. Maybe we can blame it on video games. Maybe we get those video games taken down. And I've definitely gotten amped up by playing a video game. You know, you get kind of tied in. You're fighting that like last boss, and you finally finish it. And you realize, like, I am like having my heart is racing. Your body like goes into those. Your body doesn't understand that it's not real.
The horror VR games are the ones that get me the most.
Yeah, your brain your brain processes it in your deeper like animal brains, your mammalian brain, your lizard brain as being real. Like there's a risk of death, and you take those deaths personally, and so your body responds in those ways. But I think it's fucking ridiculous to claim that it's causing heart attacks.
Yeah, that's a little far-fetched. It's like I want more data on that one.
Is that slur the indigenous people slur? I'm not sure which slur that is, but happy Columbus Day, everybody. Everyone telling you that it's Indigenous Peoples Day.
Look.
Fuck you, Columbus. Fuck you for taking us out of the Stone Age, you motherfucker, piece of shit.
As an Italian American, look, you want to get rid of Columbus Day, fine, but it's like that was like the one Italian holiday during Italian Heritage Month. It's like, oh, when I heard they're like we're not doing Columbus Day, I'm like, okay, so which Italian are we replacing him with? And they're like, nope, Indigenous People Day. I'm like, okay, well, do we get a new Italian holiday on a different day? And it's like
Leonardo da Vinci Day.
Yeah, nope, you get October is Italian Heritage Month. Good luck competing with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's like, we're never going to compete with that.
And also, September 15th to October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month.
I saw that. Me and Dick are enemies now. It's like, why would they
he's taking half your month, Tony.
I know, he took half
and your month is the one with tits. That's why he's trying to move in on it. This mother. Speaking of Dick kicked himself out of his own fucking Discord today.
Oh,
and I had to go in and give him back his dick permissions. Like a moron. That's what I said. I'm like, you're fucking lucky you didn't delete the whole thing, dipshit.
Also, am I still a mod on the Dick Show Discord? I don't even remember.
Probably.
Because occasionally, like, I'll get like a message from someone who's a guest. And they're like, hey, can you let me in? I'm supposed to be on the show today. And I'm like out doing something. I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm a moderator. Yeah, sure, buddy.
Oh, that was the thing. So I was at my glass class. My phone, I turned my phone completely off, tucked it in my bag. And then I turned it on, drove home. I get home, I open up my phone. I'm like, I wonder what's going on Discord. Boop. It's like, you have 6 direct messages from people from all over the fucking internet. Dick's in trouble. What is it, boy? Anyway. All right. One last news story from Dad Cucks reporting internationally. Chess grandmaster accused of using anal beads and to win and likely cheated over 100 times.
Wait. You got... what the fuck? Tell me more.
Yeah, a 19-year-old Hans Mock Niemann sensationally beat the world champion Magnus sensationally beat chess master. Nobody gives a single fuck. Magnus Carlsen earlier this year. The upset rocked the chess world to its core and resulted in rumors that Niemann had somehow cheated his way to victory. A wild theory suggested vibrating anal beads could be his tactic. Lodged deep inside him, they would pass through the airport-style tournament security and be controlled by his coach watching the match. Vibrate gently to let him know the right moves to make. Niemann didn't help his cause when he said he would play naked as a way to prove his innocence. Unfortunately for him, an extensive 72-page investigation into Niemann by Chess.com has made some damning. Can you imagine the guy? He's like, I've got the proof. He's got the beads in his butthole. I've got you dead to rights, buddy.
So they think that he had vibrating beads in his ass, and someone was sending him like Morse code on like what to pick.
Yeah,
like, beep beep beep, and he's like, oh, king to whatever.
It says the chess prodigy broke the rules in tournaments as recently as 2020, noting many remarkable signals and unusual patterns in Hans' path as a player. In fact, the report says that Niemann used illegal computer aids to receive assistance in over 100 online games in his path to the top. Many of these tournaments included cash prizes. Niemann was expelled from the site in 2020 for blatant cheating. At present, he hasn't issued a statement on the report. Outside of his online play, Hans is the fastest rising top player in classical chess in modern history. Looking purely at rating, Hans should be classified as a member of this group of top young players. While we don't doubt that Hans is a talented player. We note that his results are statistically extraordinary. The world of chess is divided over Niemann's abilities. Some other chess pros have defended him, calling the allegations a witch hunt. Among the 10 players participating in the Cinquenfield Cup, Niemann was the lowest rated and least likely to defeat Magnus Carlsen, who was on a 2-year unbeaten streak. Apart from the ridiculous anal beads theory, some people suspect Niemann got his hands on Carlsen's game plan ahead of time, thereby anticipating his surprise opening. While we might not know if anal beads are a liability in the integrity of chess, advances in material science and artificial intelligence could mean checking for ingenious inventions like smart clothes that transmit messages through the fabric. I love that, like, I can only imagine that this Carls Magnuson was just like, I lost chess! It's impossible! He's got bugs in his butt that are communicating things to his own brain. Fucking look at his butthole. Look at it.
I love that people were like, yeah, maybe. And the dude's like, no, I'll play. You can stare at my butthole the entire time to prove that I don't have anal beads in.
Like, why would your mind jump there? That's like the last place that I would go.
Well, have you ever been to like a spy museum or seen people like tour spy museums? Like most of the spy equipment in real life was all like anal insertion stuff because they had to get it across borders and whatnot.
Ryan Dunn asked which of those flags is the racist one. So for people watching the videos, I now have a flag banner behind me representing the states and countries that the members of Here's What I Don't Get are from.
Oh,
pretty cool. Yeah.
Wait, Ryan Dunn, he's alive?
Apparently.
Oh shit, I thought you died like 10, 13 years ago. Good for him.
And the answer is I don't have the racist one yet. It's supposed to arrive this week.
Oh my God.
No, I'm serious.
For you to burn, right? Because
no, I have a 3x5 version of it. Canada has designated the red ensign, the flag that Canada flew up until the 1960s, as a racist hate symbol. Like, it's literally the flag that Canadian troops flew in World War II when they fought real fascists. And they've decided that it's a hate symbol. It's the most ridiculous thing on the planet.
Hold on, I'm looking up Canadian flag World War II.
Canadian red ensign, that's what it's called.
Is that where it's got like the British flag and the little armor thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Now a racist hate symbol. And so Joel Chaco has one behind him on his wall in Paraguay. And so I thought in honor of him, I'd buy one instead of the Canadian maple leaf flag. Yeah. I do have the flag for Alberta here since
Okay.
he used to be in Calgary. And then directly behind my head is Paraguay,
Okay.
Missouri, North Carolina. I think that's Pennsylvania. I've
I
got
think that is,
Philadelphia
yeah.
here for you, and Oklahoma. So now I have Tulsa, St. Louis, and the
I
Redlands.
recognize the PA flag, the Philadelphia flag. I couldn't tell you what the hell that looked like. Hold on.
I do a lot of research, man. I take
I
this
get-
job seriously.
You know what's funny? You type in Philadelphia flag and it wants to give you Philadelphia pride flag first. You have to specifically put Philadelphia flag. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I had to. There was a lot of that. I was avoiding a lot of.
Oh,
Canada
yeah, I
is
guess that
always
is.
correct.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Canada
Well,
is always-
let's get back. This has been
He's a black-faced lawyer.
News Network. I'm calling the police. 2 if you count the cows.
Speaking of the blackface lawyer.
Yeah.
Frickin', he was on Alex Jones this week.
What?
How incredible is that? He was on
Oh.
InfoWars for getting banned from YouTube.
I disavow him then. Bad.
Yeah, why don't you go
go
report his streams like another fat, worthless Italian?
I'm
dipshit?
gonna report his streams.
No, someone asked early on in this question, and the answer is absolutely never. Anyway, but that takes care of our legal obligations this week. But you know what doesn't take care of, Tony?
Yes.
Buying more flags. And if you want to help me buy more racist flags to go behind me in the studio, you can visit us at patreon.com/HWIDG, which stands for,
Here's what I don't get.
which is the name of the show. And over there, we have 5 tiers. We have the $1 tier, which gets you access to each week's episode, plus our monthly minisodes. We have our $5 tier. We do we have a $2 tier where we throw random bits and bobs. Tim and I will probably end up doing a review of Halloween Ends, just to round out the franchise. We have our $5 tier. We do a monthly bonus episodes. Here's what I do get, where we drop the hate and talk about what's great. We have our $10 tier where you, the fan, submit a film. You vote on what film we watch, and we watch and record a feature-length commentary. Now that I've got all the hosts in one group chat, we're going to start getting back on commentaries and bonus episodes. So
yeah,
stay
I got to do
tuned for
more
those.
commentary. I did a shit ton of commentaries over the summer. Me and that girl Casey, we did one for like every Predator movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a big back catalog of commentaries. I love doing commentaries.
I'm looking at my phone. I'm not seeing any like text where I was invited to join in any of those. That's weird. That's being someone who loves the Predator franchise.
Well, look, I haven't done one for Prey yet. I mean,
I'd rather kill myself than watch that movie again.
Oh, you didn't like Prey?
No, it was terrible. The only reason
Oh.
why people think Prey is good is because The Predator was so bad.
Yeah,
It was such a bad movie
Yeah,
that movie being like even just passing, people were like, that's fucking great.
I thought Prey was fine.
Mr. Kill Everything asked, no news on the Godzilla podcast.
Johanna literally yelled at me for it today, and I'm like, look, I've got a lot I'm doing. I'll bring it back soon. It is coming up on our 1-year hiatus.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm gonna be in Tulsa next weekend. Tim and I may be getting together. There may be some special recordings happening.
No.
To celebrate some things.
Look, I don't want to get into all the drama that happened, but a lot happened around this time last year, and sadly, Catzilla had to take a back seat. But yes, I do want to bring it back. I
was walking through Walmart yesterday, and they had a kid's Godzilla costume, and I almost bought it to wear for this episode. Anyway,
I should bring it back. There's more Godzilla coming. I wasn't expecting that.
We also have our $50 Spite Producer tier where you get a say in the show. You get to ask for like special bonus content. You can ask for special segments on the show. Anything your heart desires, we will do our best to fulfill. And we thank all of our patrons, big and small, because without you, we absolutely would not still be doing this show. 307 episodes strong. So thank you, everybody. And if you're not currently supporting the show, go visit us at patreon.com/HWIDG. But let's get back into some issues. Here's what I don't get.
Okay.
Ghost tours. We've all heard of these things where you like go to a building or a college campus or like some area, and some like dipshit with a stack of note cards wanders you around. It's 7 o'clock at night, and they're like, yeah, so in this house or in this room, an old lady died about 300,000 years ago. And so now every so often there's like a ghost of the lady in here. And then, you wander around. The whole idea, people think that they're going to go be on Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters with Zach Baggins, and they'll like hear the like kind of shit,
not realizing that shit's fake, but yeah,
100% fake. And so instead, what you end up happening is you just go look at old buildings at night in the dark, and then you're just like, we went on this ghost tour. Did you see any ghosts? No. Was it fun? Yes, for some reason.
I mean, it's nice. They could, I guess, hey, look, the late night architecture tour doesn't sell as much tickets. So it's like, hey, look at these fancy buildings, and maybe you'll see a ghost. Probably not, though. It's like, oh, cool.
And that's the other funny thing is, so like when we were in Tampa doing the Dick Show live in 2020, we went by the venue the day before the actual show happened, and we got a tour by the venue manager lady, and she's like, yeah, and this room, this is haunted this way, and this is haunted this way. And I will say this, okay, I don't think I've told this story to anyone, but we were in this room, and I started smelling very, very intensely the smell of tobacco. Like a bunch of people sitting around smoking cigars. And I thought, that's weird. And then she's like, yeah, people used to smoke cigars in here. But then she didn't mention that anyone ever smells the smell of tobacco as like from ghosts. Instead, she talked about how like there's a little boy ghost that plays with these balls we leave in the middle of this room. We'll like leave the balls in this spot, and then tomorrow they'll be in that spot. How crazy is that? And I'm like, that's your evidence of ghosts? Get out of your fucking mind.
Well, it's hard to have a ghost tour because ghosts aren't real. So it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, that's the thing is that the only reason why a man has ever gone on a ghost tour is because they want to have sex with the lady that wants to go on the ghost tour.
I remember when I was a kid, I don't know where we were, but we were on a ghost tour, but they actually like put work into it. Like they would point at a house and be like, ah, yes, in this house, this happened. And then they had like actors in the window, like acting out stuff like, oh, that was kind of cool. But you're right. Like every other ghost tour, it's like, oh yes, this building was built this and in the 1800s and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes a lady cries. There you go. And it's like, all right, like, could you have an actor dressed up as the lady crying? Could you do something cool? What the fuck is this?
As much as everyone hates it, the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, like it opens in that house. There's just people on a ghost tour, and then that like candlestick falls off the shelf, and everyone's like, "Ooh, so spooky!" And it turns out that it's like a candlestick that has a mechanism to make it fall off the table. But it's like you're giving those people something to see.
There's something there, yes. Yeah. It's very unrealistic because real ghost tours aren't that impressive.
Suck. Yeah. I remember I told this story on the podcast back when Buck was on the show, but so I was working when I was in college. A lot of times I'd work in the theater like way late. You'd be quiet. There'd be nobody there. I'd be working on cues or whatever. So one night it's late. It's like 11:30 and I finish my work for the day and I lock up the theater and I come out of the doors and I walk into the lobby, and in the lobby is this crowd of like 30 people. And it's the middle of the night. Like I'm not expecting anyone to be in this area. I'm like, and the building's also supposed to be locked. It was supposed to lock at like 10 p.m. So how the fuck did these people get in this building? And I'm like, can I help you folks? And then one of the people goes like, oh yeah, we're on a ghost tour. Do you work in here? Like, yeah, I work in here in the theater department. And he's like, oh, you ever seen a ghost? And I went, of course not. Ghosts aren't real. Every theater pretends that it's haunted, but it's just people who work too long of hours getting delirious and seeing things. It's total bullshit. And like the whole crowd was just like, oh.
Tab, you screwed
and then
up.
I walked straight through the crowd and out the front door. It's just like, all right, now that I've ruined your evening, see ya.
Tab, you screwed up. You should have been like, oh, I've never seen a ghost and I've been working here since 1932. And they're like, wait a minute.
There's a venue. So when I moved out to St. Louis, I told some of the people that I worked with in Tulsa, and you know, they were asking about the building that I worked in and all those kinds of questions. And one of them asked, you know, this guy that I had become close with, he's an older gentleman. He's been working for a long time. And he's like, oh, how old is the building? And it's built in the 70s. Like, oh, that's probably getting old enough. Are there any ghost stories? And it's like, I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't hear anything. He's like, well, If there's not, you got to make them up. And the better your story, the more you have a story you have, the better it'll be. Like, oh yeah, I was just a young man moving to St. Louis and this whole, and then he summoned over this other guy. They had worked together for a long time at the Brady Theater in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And they told me the story about how they used to rent the place out to groups for seances and shit to find the ghost of R.L. Spatz, who was a ghost that those two guys made up so that they could sell seance time. And so they'd invite that people would be like, yeah, we heard the Brady Theater's haunted. Have you ever seen anything? Like, oh yeah, we've seen stuff all the time. You'll see things like move, and they just make shit up. And then people would like ask to do seances or stay late inside in the theater. And so they'd be like, yeah, staying in the theaters is free, but the tip, you can always tip. And so the two of them told me the story where they had a group they're on the stage. These two guys have gone up to the like tech office and they're just fucking hanging out, smoking weed, not giving a shit. About every 20-25 minutes, it'd be like, all right, it's your turn. And they would go climb up into the grid without being seen because there's like an access way. So they'd be out above the stage and they'd like make sounds and bang on stuff. And the people would be down there like, oh shit. All to give these people a show. And the Brady Theater in Tulsa is one of the most haunted landmarks in Oklahoma. Yeah. It's like, it's all been fucking made up by these two jackasses. The whole thing was a scam to give these guys get extra beer money.
What you call it? I actually, it's so funny talking about like fake ghost stuff. Yesterday I was watching the old Freddy Krueger TV show. Have you ever seen any of that?
I haven't.
It's on Tubi. The whole series is on Tubi right now for free. But last night's episode, the one I was watching, it's like a girl is pretending to be like a medium, and she's pretending to be a guy on the Titanic, and she's like, oh, we need the sonar. And then there's a skeptic in the crowd. He's like, sonar wasn't around during the Titanic. And she gets exposed. But then the whole thing, she's like telling a guy like her whole thing. She's like, yeah, so all the stories and everything I do is fake, but I actually put myself into a trance. And Freddy Krueger uses the trance to go into her body and start fucking with people and killing people. It's pretty fucking hilarious. That show's fun.
Check that show out. Yeah.
Not every episode. There's only like a few episodes that are actually about Freddy. Usually he's like a crypt keeper type host. But no, it's a good time. You get to see baby Brad Pitt, teenager Brad Pitt. You get to see like all these big actors before they like became big in it. It's a fun little time capsule.
Yeah. So St. Louis has obviously, about 100 years older than even more than that. But the standing buildings, some of them are 100 years older than the ones we have in Tulsa. And so with that comes all sorts of ghost tour things, stay at the Lemp Mansion, the Haunted Lemp Brewery, like all this kind of stuff. And to me, it's far more logical to ascribe something moving without your knowledge, like that someone moved it or you just didn't remember where you left a thing.
Yeah.
I remember my dad and I were driving probably to Virginia or DC or something. We're driving and it's middle of the night, and all of a sudden I saw a dog in the middle of the road, and I just started screaming like, watch out for that dog, watch out for that dog. And I like saw the dog in the road, and my dad's like, what dog? And the next thing I know, I saw the dog like standing at the top of an on-ramp, and then there was no dog. Now, some people would be like, that was a ghost dog that was hit by the traffic. But what I think it was that I was like partially asleep.
Yeah.
So then we took the next exit and got coffee, and shockingly didn't see any more ghost dogs for the rest of that trip.
That's my my biggest thing to discredit ghosts. It's like, what are the only two ghosts you ever hear about? People and pets. And I always say, you never hear about ghost dinosaurs. You never hear about ghost bacteria. You never hear about ghost sea life. It's always people and pets, the things that we project human emotions onto or other humans. So yeah, that's my thing. Because they're always like, ghosts have unfinished business. And I always say, I'm like, a lot of dinosaurs had unfinished business. I feel like there's like about 1 billion of them that had unfinished business at the same time when the fucking asteroid hit. We would be seeing like ghost T-Rexes being like, "Oh, where are my eggs?" Ah.
Yeah, shouldn't the One World Trade Center be like just haunted full of fucking
That
ghosts?
should be, yeah, or any like Nagasaki and Hiroshima, like those
Yeah.
should be super haunted. And I never hear shit about that.
No, it's always like, yeah, there's it's an old woman, or it's like
Yeah.
a kid, or
Dude,
it's
in PA. I used to, when I was a Boy Scout, we camped at like Gettysburg, and they're like, this is one of the bloodiest battles in all the Civil War. I'm like, I didn't see one fucking ghost. I didn't see one. And they're like, it's the bloodiest battle of the Civil War. The most Americans died here because there were Americans on both sides. I'm like, well, obviously I'm going to see a ghost.
whoa, Tony. Americans on both sides?
Oh, sorry.
Sounds a little fucking suspect there, but
Sorry,
I don't think we count that anymore.
I meant North Americans, like the continent. So that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's like, can you imagine you're like a 17-year-old kid, you go march to Gettysburg to like fight in a war that you don't really want to fight in. You're like, well, I got to do this because of the draft. So then I want to be a farmer. I want to like have sex for the first time, have some kids and shit. And you get like shot at the battlefield and you're bleeding out and you're like, I guess I have no more unfinished business, so I don't have to hang out in this field as a ghost for the next 300 years.
It's literally everyone who's died is just, they had to have said at the moment of their death, being like, I got this covered. I think I did a good job.
Oh, you're like slowly dying. You're like, hold on, let me get my bucket list out. That one didn't really matter. That one's not that important. Have sex with Gwyneth Paltrow. She's not even that pretty anymore anyway. Oh, that's everything.
But yeah, according to these ghost people, it's like, wow, a lot of like old women in mansions for some reason had a lot of unfinished business. They had so much more to do.
That's a great segue, Tony, because have you heard of the Winchester Mansion in LA?
Oh, of course. She went crazy. She made like doors that led nowhere and whatnot. Yeah.
She had her house under constant construction for the last like 20 years of her life because she was convinced that the ghost of the people killed by Winchester rifles would come to punish her. So the house is like made with these staircases that went nowhere, doors that went into nothing, to like confuse ghosts into getting like at her. And then they made a movie about her recently, and everybody's like, wow, how moving. Like, how moving. This woman was out of her fucking mind.
Yeah.
If she wasn't rich, people would be like, you're a crazy bitch.
First off, all right, so like you have to like, aren't ghosts only supposed to haunt where they died? Like, that's
exactly. The rules never make any fucking sense.
People change rules on it all the time. It's like, okay, so say the ghost could travel, like they know where your mansion is. Okay, if they have like a magic thing that lets them know exactly where you are, the same magic directions they have will probably let them know which hallway is fake and which hallway. And also, can't they walk through walls? Like you're not. This is so fucking stupid.
Also, if I'm a ghost, right, I have the ability now. I'm not tethered through whatever thing to this area. I can go anywhere. I'm fucking going to the Rockettes dressing room.
Yeah,
that's where I'm gonna haunt for the rest of eternity.
Well, should I haunt the? Oh yeah, there. I gotta hunt the wife of the guy, and it's like, why don't you like find the guy in the afterworld and give him a piece of your mind or something?
I'm gonna kick your ass, buddy.
It's so fucking
silly.
stupid. The whole ghost thing. I mean, it's fun, but it's so stupid when you think about it.
Yeah, and then you can take ghost tours of that mansion, but the whole idea is that the mansion is built to like defeat ghosts. So why would there be ghost tours there? None of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's all just silly, and it's all just like, and it's one thing. Like I don't get me wrong, I love going to haunted houses.
Yeah,
it's fun. People pop out at you. They like rev a chainsaw. You know it's fake. You have a little good time. You go on like your little haunted hayride, whatever the case may be. But the it's like going to a movie. Like you can go enjoy watching a movie because even though you know it's fake, you can like buy into it for the little bit of time you're in there. But like, it's the ghost tour is predicated on the idea that it's absolutely real. The same way like going to a museum and looking at art. The art is like a physical manifestation of emotions and things that like you can go see that art and it's real. You can go see these ghosts because they're real, but then there are no, it's like going to the zoo. If you're like going to the zoo and every exhibit in the zoo is like closed for construction. Where are the lions? We shipped it out to San Diego while we rebuild the lion paddock.
But this is where the lions would be if they were here. There's like the little tire that they chew. They're not here right now, but this is where you would have seen them if they were here.
Here's a placard with a picture of a lion and a description of what lions are. Have a good time. Like, are you out of your mind?
And you know what's really the thing? Ghost tours, nothing ever exciting happens. But on like a haunted hayride or one of those haunted houses, sometimes someone will punch one of the entertainers, and they'll have to shut down.
That's
the
not
attraction.
fucking funny.
Yeah, no, it's not. But well, it's funny to see the argument with them screaming if you're not the one who punched them.
Yeah.
Because I remember being a kid, one of my earliest memories of a haunted hayride is like, "Ooh, the headless horseman's there!" And I remember the hayride stopping and just the guy in the monster thing screaming at a guy who punched him. And that never happens on a ghost tour because there's no actual ghost to punch.
I worked at a haunted house with Tim and Truckin' and Tuckin', and I got punched in the face twice.
Oh my god!
Fortunately, I wore a welder's mask, so
yeah.
the square rectangle cut into the bridge of my nose, which was painful. And then the second time, that was already split when I got punched in the face again.
Oh,
and it was just like,
no.
you paid to be here, jackass.
Yeah.
I don't get the ghost tours. I don't get why. I don't get the appeal. I don't get there's no product that comes out of the end.
Yeah.
You'd be far better off like going and doing just like it's 11 o'clock at night. Why don't you go drink in a bar?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get so drunk you'll see a ghost.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Anyway,
so stupid.
Well, that's my issue, and that's our episode for this week. So this has been Here's What I Get. I'm Tab Burt.
I'm Tony from Hack the Movies.
Until next time. Say like see ya.
See ya.
If you want to call into Here's What I Get Hotline, call us at 704-750-9434 and tell us what you don't get. Or you can visit us in Discord under the voicemail upload channel. Post an MP3 there if like you're living outside the United States and you don't want to pay the long distance or whatever. We've got some voicemails here. Let's jump back to this old one that was specifically for Tony.
Okay.
Let me pull it up here because it's kind of buried.
Okay.
And by buried, I mean Google loads very, very slowly for no fucking reason. Ryan Dunn says, great show. Thank you, Ryan Dunn. We appreciate it.
I'm so glad you're alive again, Ryan Dunn. Well, that's a ghost.
Oh, shit. There's a ghost on this episode.
Yeah, that's actually... Why go to a tour? Just watch this episode. There's a ghost there.
Hey, Tab, Player 4 here.
Okay, so hold on. I also want to ask this question to Player 4 because I heard Player 4 call into WATP, and I assumed he was calling himself Player 4 because we have Sage, Mr. Kill Everything, and Dead Helm all in their like fight sequence, and then he was like, I'm Player 4, I also want to fight Sage. But so when you call it WATP, are you referencing this show, or is Player 4 a reference to something that I don't understand? Okay. So answer that question, please.
No, you're going to go on this read about how Vito is such an attention whore and how you don't like attention whores. And then you bring fucking Tony from Hack the Movies on your podcast as one of your 4 rotating co-hosts. Like, what the fuck, Tab? That guy is the biggest attention whore. Maybe not as big as Vito. So, point there, but like, if this guy found out that one more person might watch his YouTube video if he raped a cat, then he would fucking do it because he's such an attention whore. I hate Tony from Hack the Movies. No, to me, here's what I don't get is he's going to have 1 week off every fucking time Tony comes on. So, in my eyes, you're not the longest running podcast on the See You Next Tuesday network. You're just a chump who misses an episode a week. Why do you miss episode, Tab? Bye. I'm trying to hang up, but I'm driving, so this is kind of awkward. Okay, red light. Bye.
Tony, would you like to address your accusations of being an attention whore?
Well, yeah. I am a shameless self-promoter. How do you think the channel got so big? But
I was going to say bots.
No, it wasn't bots. People always say that. They're like, I bet you bought those. I'm like, if that was an option, I would have bought so much more, so it looks so much more impressive.
Like MSCS Media.
Yeah, I would do like
Yeah.
MCS Media, but I know bots don't work. But yeah, I wouldn't do that to a cat to get an extra view. I don't think I would go that far, but yeah, everything else he said is 100% right.
You know, so I just want to point this out. Like, if you missed the last episode Tony was on, Tony was really like skirting the edge of the early life meme. It was it was pretty impressive. So, you know, I'd say it's not worth skipping. It's not worth skipping episodes. And
Yeah.
I will also say this, like Tony and I have had like a robust friendship outside prior to this show, just like privately for 4 or 5 years now.
For a long time, yeah.
Yeah, just like chatting about this and that. So, if you don't, you know, I was like, yes, it would be great to have Tony on. He's got a bigger audience. Maybe we can draw some of their audience, but we also have like funny conversations from time to time.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Another one.
Hey, Tab. It's August 8th. Fuck, it's October 8th. And I just went to Costco to look for some Halloween decorations. And there were 0 Halloween decorations. But, you know, there are decorations for another holiday. Oh, that's right. October 8th, fucking Christmas decorations all over the store.
I guarantee they were up
Dude,
there
it's
earlier.
fucking over. Like, Western civilization is done. I hope Russia starts dropping nukes because it's just over, man. It's just totally over. See you later.
I don't know if I want nukes dropping, but
I'm on the nuke. I'm team nuke.
Oh, okay.
That's my write-in for the 2024 presidential election. Nuke. Dude, did this weekend, October 11th through the 14th or something, was Prime's early access sale? Do you know what the early access was to?
Yeah.
Fucking Black Friday deals.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
Like, what the fuck, man? We already have Prime Day, which is a completely made-up holiday where they like offload a bunch of their bullshit, and they're doing the thing they always do, which is they go like, "Yeah, this thing is $300 now; it's $200. You're saving 30%." Like, yeah, it was $200 yesterday too. It just didn't have a blue banner around it.
figured last week we did what is the best Halloween 2 episode, and I did an ad for this website called Zavvy, and I made it for an episode called Best Halloween 2, where we talk about 3 Halloween movies. I made my ad all Christmas themed. It was so fucking funny.
And it's not funny. It's not funny, Tony.
It was pretty funny because
You know what? You're off the show.
I still had all the Halloween stuff on set, and I'm like, Christmas is coming.
It's not. It's not coming. Christmas is canceled. Like,
Oh, okay.
I want to fucking, goddamn, I want to fucking go in, break into everyone's fucking homes, take all their shit, take it to the fucking top of Mount Fraught or whatever the fucking mountain is, and push it right off the fucking edge. Those people are not, that whole fucking movie doesn't make any fucking sense anymore because it's not about the spirit of Christmas. It's all about commercialism, which is why they're trying to shove this shit down your fucking throat 3 months ahead of time. Like, I saw Christmas decorations in stores, and we're not in September. We weren't even the fucking quarter of the year that Christmas happens in. It's unfucking believable. All right, I got another one here.
Okay.
Here's what I don't get. Your schedule's at, say, 10:30, and you're a delivery-style business where you're supposed to fucking be here, be able to deliver pizzas and what have you to people. Why the hell you set your alarm for 10:30? You're supposed to be here at the time you fucking get up, you stupid fucking bitch.
Okay.
That felt very specific.
I do hate when like you order pizza from a place and it'll be like 35 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And so then about 45 minutes later, you're like, when did I place that order? I placed that order at 7-Eleven. It's 45 minutes after 7-Eleven, 8:01. Why is the pizza not here?
Ugh. I've had so much trouble with Uber Eats and whatnot. Sometimes they give me someone else's food, which is pretty funny.
That happened to my dad once. He was at he texted me. He's like, "Hey, did you send me dinner?" And I was like, "No." What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He's like, "There's this Whataburger on my porch." And I was like, I don't fucking know anything about
Well,
that.
I ordered food. The guy gave me the wrong food. I tried to call the driver like right away, and he just didn't answer. So I just ate someone else's seafood. I'm like,
And then-
it's here.
That person got whatever food you ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it turns out that food was for his neighbor, and so he's like about to dig into it, and they knock on the door like, "Hey, did you get a Whataburger delivery?" Like, yeah, 1 second. Like, gotta fucking wrap it back up.
That's pretty funny.
We got 2 more voicemails.
Here's what I don't get.
Jesus.
When someone releases a live show as an episode of their podcast, and they have the microphone for recording the show out in the back of the room in the middle of a bunch of fucking drunks, so you can barely hear the people on stage, so you have to crank it way up, and you get blown away every once in a while by all the people screaming and hollering in the crowd. And then the dynamically inserted ad comes in at 8 million decibels, and they no longer have speakers or eardrums.
I need to like star that one for whenever I have Carl on the show again. Because I tried to listen to that Detroit live show episode of WATP, and what was I doing? Oh, I got this film to put on the windows that makes it like a mirror on the outside, and it lets less heat in. And so I was working on that project, and I just plugged my phone into my TV sound system so it'd be nice and loud. I could hear it throughout the house. And my TV sound system has like it's a 10-inch sub and then 2 big 8-inch tops. And so the whole show has like this boomy, like someone tapping directly on the edge of the microphone the entire time. Yeah. And I was just like, I can't fucking do this. So I paused it. I moved to the next episode, and then I was like, maybe I'll try and listen to it in the car. And of course, your car has decent sub, and so it sounded. And I was just like, I'm out. I quit. I can't listen to this episode.
I skipped it because I saw all the complaints. I've listened to podcasts that like I said, I used to listen to here's what I
I used to listen to Here's What I Get. It sounded like shit. Fuck you, Tony.
No, I used to listen to How Did This Get Made, as I said before.
Oh.
And one of their live shows, the recorder died, and they recorded on an iPhone, and I couldn't do it. So when I saw people complaining about the live show at WATP, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna skip it. I would have just said, hey guys, it doesn't exist. The audio doesn't exist. Fuck you. I would have just said that, to be honest.
The unbalance between like the dynamically inserted ads and a podcast is also fucking infuriating.
Does he? I think he auto inserts them. I manually place my ads into the podcast stuff. Like you can manually do it. I don't know.
No, his are dynamic ads, and he claims they're targeted. But the last episode of WATP that I listened to, all my ads were for England.
Well,
so
no.
Whoever he's getting these ads from is a fucking retard.
No. The ads are randomized, but you can, or at least the RSS thing that I use, you can put.
Put the point.
Yeah, where the ads are going to play, and I usually make sure it doesn't interrupt like a sentence or something. I don't know if he does that though.
I don't think he does. I think it's like the beginning and the exact middle. I think those are the 2 spots.
Yeah. I don't trust the auto placement. They put it in like weird places sometimes.
Yeah, they will put it in the middle of your sentence. Like there's been times in WATP where Carl will be like, yeah, so on this podcast they're talking about this thing, and then it'll be like, talk to what is that? Better help 1-800-BETTER-HELP /WATP, and you're like, what the hell is happening here?
The YouTube is the worst with auto placed ads. Like if you don't catch it, they'll put like 10 ads in like the first 5 minutes of one of my videos, and people be like, dude, what's up with the ads? I'm like, fuck, I forgot to manually put them in. I gotta like delete them and shit. It's so annoying.
As is now, here's what I don't get tradition. I'm going to start adding myself in more spots to this stream. We've got one more voicemail.
Here's what I don't get. Telling your boss 30 minutes after you're supposed to fucking be here that you can't be here on time.
Oh, shit. Something bugged out there.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'm like, where was the rest of that?
Yeah, something like went weird in the QLab computer. It like kicked it out of the stream. Holy shit. That's weird. all this like StreamYard just works, and then it fucking fucks this whole thing up. Let me reset the progress on this one.
Oh, that's fun.
Here's what I don't get. Telling your boss 30 minutes after you're supposed to fucking be here that you can't be here on time because you have to go buy groceries at the store because you woke up late. Like, you were off for 3 days in a row. How
What?
the fuck did you not go to the grocery store for 3 days you were off? And now I'm having to call people and tell them, yeah, your order's going to be late because my fucking retard of a driver is going to be 30 minutes late, which is probably going to turn into an hour and a half, like last time she pulled this bullshit. I wish I had the chance to fucking fire her ass. I don't give a shit if your kid is retarded and you have to have the money so DCF doesn't take him away. Fuck you.
That was another very specific voicemail.
Yeah, but he's totally right.
Do people just call into your show because they can't yell at the person? Is that
I
what
think
happened?
so. Yeah. I mean, I use the show for therapy, so why shouldn't they?
Yeah, but I can just see like I want to yell at her so much. Let me call Tab.
Let me go out in my car. No, absolutely. If you've got, let it out into the internet. Nobody knows who you are unless you like go and like, yeah, my name is Tad Burder. Run the Pizza Hut at 427 South Sheridan Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My employees are Dan, Jim, Dave, Ethan, Sarah, Margaret, and also Dave. I just want to say you're all fucking retards and I hate you. And if I could, I would strangle you all to death and leave your bodies in the freezer and then flee to Mexico. Like, I don't like that voicemail would be like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is bizarre. I'd be like, all right, we're gonna block that number from now on.
But for the most part, like, you just want to shout at someone, fucking shout into our voicemail. It'd be great.
Yeah.
I do hate that. Like, even if it's not you had 3 days off, like, fucking get your shit together. Go to the grocery store after you leave work. Go to the grocery store tomorrow.
Mhm.
Like, I try and plan my grocery shopping around my life. So oftentimes, one of the things that pisses me off about the scamdemic and like Walmarts and places not being open 24 hours a day anymore. I used to love going grocery shopping like 12:30, 1 at night.
It was so great.
Fucking nobody in the store.
I would go Christmas shopping for people at 3 a.m. Beat all the line. It was great.
They'd be out there stocking and stuff, and it's like, you got your pallet out here. I don't give a shit. I'll fucking push through and find my thing.
Yeah.
And now you can't do that anymore because now they're closed from 11 to 10 a.m. or something. So, but like, okay, Sunday I have a matinee. I'll go. I'll leave the theater after the matinee and then go to the grocery store, and then then I'll get home, and then I have all my groceries for the week or the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like not a thing anymore. But people don't do that. People be like, oh, I tried to make dinner for my kid. And also people don't plan ahead. Like I realize that my supplies are dwindling, and I'm starting to think, okay, I need to go grocery shopping. Am I going to go Saturday or Sunday? Am I going to go Monday? People don't do that. They're just like, I'm out of food. I'm an idiot.
Ugh. So annoying.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all of our voicemails so far. Call in and leave your voicemails. Call in and complain about your coworkers. We haven't
call in to complain about me, apparently.
Yeah, if you have a voicemail for a specific co-host, try and like say their name during the voicemail, and I'll save it for the episode that they're on, so that we're not playing that when they're not here. Like, let them kind of respond.
That'll always be my favorite thing. Where like Tony's just trying to get famous, and it's like, yep.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be getting famous on Here's What I Don't Get.
Yeah, well, that was what I'm saying. Like, well, it's funny because people were just like, you only ever called yourself Tony from Hack the Movies on Cinemassacre, so people would check out your channel. And I'm like, yeah, it worked. Like, yeah, that's
fucking sleuth it
I'm
out.
Like, did you guys think I was trying to get one by you? Like, no, that's 100% why I called myself Tony from Hack the Movies.
That's why he wears that shirt on the show.
Well, this character's dead, but yeah.
Anyway, well, thanks, Tony. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Until next time, we'll see you.
Goodbye.